Good day, ma'am. We are the group 8, so I am the first reporter in the group 8. So our topic is grading systems and the grading system of the Department of Education. So assessment of student performance is essential. Knowing how the student is progressing in a course and accidentally how a teacher is also performing with respect to the teaching process. The first step in assessment is testing, either by some pencil paper objective test or by some performance based on testing procedure, followed by a decision to grade the performance of the students. So, ang mga examples ka ng mga teacher nga inang mag-base sila sa inang maggrado sila, i-base nila kung unsay mas anad. For example, inang sa written, diba, sa pencil paper, so na sa written mas anad mga bata, then nayubay nga mga bata mas anad sa written kaysa sa performance. Napod ang uban nga mas anad sila sa performance kaysa sa written. Then in the American system, for instant grades are expressed in terms of letters A, B, B positive, B negative, C negative, or D. What is referred to as 7-point system? In the Philippines, colleges and universities, the letters are replaced with numerical values 1, 1.25, 1.50, 1.75, then 2.0, 2.5, then 3.0, and 4.0. So sa American, ang ila paghatag sa grado kay letters. Letters ang ila, letters ang pagkwan. Ang A nagrepresent sa grado nga 95. While sa Philippines naman, ang 1 sa aton kay inang 95 pero lahi-lahi lang silang paghatag sa grado. Ang sa American kay letters, ang sa ato kay numerical. The basic education's grades are expressed as a percentages of accomplishments such as 80% and 75%. 8.1 Norm reference grading. Non-reference grading refers to a grading system where a student's grade is placed in relation to the performance of a group. In this system, a grade of 80 means the student performed better than same as 80% of the class or group. For example, consider the following two sets of scores in an English 1-2 sections of 10 students each. So, sa makita ninyo, ang A, sa letter A kay 30, 40, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, ug 85. While sa B kay 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, 90, 95, so 100. In the first class, the students who get a raw score of 75 would get a grade of 80, while the second class, the same of the 80 would correspond to a raw score of 90. The students work individually or actually in competitions to achieve a standard of performance that will classify them into a desired grade range. A student or a pupil who happens to enroll in a class of gifted students in mathematics will find that the norm reference grading system is rather worrisome. So, diba, sa bawat klase na agad sa mga inang magkumpit-kumpit nga mga students. So sa for example sa maipon ka sa mga bright, di ba daw mo kwansin na nga inang ay bright sila, so dapat ako inang makakwan ko nga inang makakaton pud ko nga inang masabay pud ko nila, so So sa gift. And then second, a wise student would opt to enroll in class A since it is easier to get higher grades in that class than in the other class B. The previous example illustrates one difficulty with using norm reference. This problem is called the problem of equivalency. As we have seen, norm reference grading systems are based on the established formula regarding the percentage of ratio students where a whole class will be assigned each grade or mark. So for examples, a teacher may establish a grading policies whereby the top 15% of students will receive a mark of excellent or outstanding, which in class of 100 enrolled students will be a 15%. Tanawa ang sa plot 1. So excellence, so na-shoot siya sa top 15% of class. So 1.50 good, next 15% of class, then 2.0 average fair, next 45% of class, then 3.0 poor or pass, next 15% of class, and then 5.0 failure, bottom 10 of the class. So that one so sa non-reference systems are most often used for screening selected student populations in conditions where it is known as not all students can advance due to limitations such as available places, jobs, or under other controlling factors. So, for example, in the Philippines, sitting at a high school students can actually advance to college or university level because of financial constraints the norm reference grading system can apply. So, inang for example, inang dili lang kung sa kani pamagitan sang norm reference grading systems na ay uban nga mga bata nga ay makaskwela sila, diba, na ay uban nga wala sila wala sila kuan financially, wala jud sila sa kuan. By this sumagi sa norm reference makakatunggi hapon ang mga students, pero lahi lang ila pagpamaagi. Examples: a class of 100 students, the mean score in a test is 70 with a standard deviation of 5. Construct a norm reference grading table that would have 7 grade scales such that from the mean receives an average grade. Solution: the following intervals are row scores to the grade equivalents are computed. So kani mao na siya ang pag-compute kung unsa nang kwan. So sa row score kay below 55, then was a grade equivalent kay fail siya, then sa percentage kay 1, and then sa 55 over until sa 60, so marginal pass, then 4%, then next kay 61 until sa 65 pass siya 11%, then sa 66 until sa 75 average, so sa percentage 68 dako, then and then sa 76 or until sa 80 above average, so passing na siya, so percentage 11 percentage, then 81 to 85 very good, which is 4%. sa about ang pinakataas po 85 kay must excellent, so makuha siya sa 1%. Only a few of the teachers who use norm reference grading apply it consistently. when a teacher is faced with a particular bright class. Most of the time, he does not penalize good students for having a bad luck to enroll in a class with a cohort of other very capable students, even if the grading system says he should fill a certain percentage of the class. So, gamay ra niya ang mga teacher nga nagamit sang norm reference grading. Kung saan yun. A serious problem with the norm reference grading is that no matter what the class level knowledge and ability, and no matter how much they learn, as a predictable proportion of students will receive each grade. So, di ba, kabante mo na sa paggrado sa mga maestra, of course, makahatag sila sa kung maghatag sila sa grado kung unsa ra jud ang gihatag pud sa ilaha sa mga students nga inang performance or inang sa pag-quiz kung unsa pud ang grado nga gikuan hatag pud sa ila nga score. The specific learning objectives of norm reference classes are often kept hidden in a part out of concern that the instructions not give away the test or the teachers prioritize since the might of the school, the core. 8.2 Criterion Reference Grading. Criterion reference grading systems are based on the fixed criterion measure. There is a fixed target and the students must achieve the target in order to obtain a passing grade in course regardless of the other students in the class performance. For example, in a class of 100 students, using the table below, no one might get a grade of excellence if no one scores 98 above or 85 above depending on the criterion used. So, muna siya ang examples. 1.0 excellence. So, average guy of equivalent to 98.100 or 85 of over 100. And then sa second guy 1.5 good equivalent sa 88 or 97. So hangtod sa 97 so or 80 hangtod sa 84. So 2.0 kay fair 75 or 87 or 70 hangtod sa 79. 3.0 poor class or pass 65 hangtod sa 74 or 60 hangtod sa 69. Then sa 5.0 kay failure below 65 below 60. So sa kanya sa 5.0 so possibility nga hagbong good siya. Criterion reference systems are often used in the situations where the teachers are agreed on the meaning of standard of performance in a subject but the qualify of the students is unknown, or an event where the work involves the students' collaborations of teamwork. There is the variety of the measures used to prevent these situations from ever happening in the grading system. First, the criterion should not be based on only one teacher's opinion or standard. It should be collaborative and arrive at a group teachers teaching the same subject must set the criterion together. Second, once the criterion is established, it must be made public and open to public scrutiny so that it does not become arbitrary and subject to whim and caprice of the teacher. So, naay step kung unsaon ng papama inang nine measures to use to prevent the situations. So sa first kay inang opinion, dapat collaborations ang mga teachers. And then sa second kay dapat inang made it by public, so that para dili inang makuan siya nga so that subject to the whim and caprice of the so that it does not become arbitrary and the subject to the whim and caprice of the teachers. So dapat by public siya. And then 8.3, 4 questions in grading. Marinela D. Suvinkiniki, 2007, of the Center of the Teaching Effectiveness of the following University of Texas in Austin possesses 4 intriguing questions relative. We share these questions here in these sections and the corresponding opinion of Ms. Shiviniki for your own reflection. So naay mga pangutanan diri mo na siya. Should grades affect absolute level of achievement level to others in the same class? Number 2, should grades reflect achievement only or academic components such as attitude, speed, and diligence? 3, should grades report status achieves or amount of growth? 4, how can several grades on diverse scales combine to give a single mark? Dili na lang ko to sa ako report. Then sa overall, sa summary sa ako report kung unsaon pamaagi sa inang paggrado sa mga maestra ang akon.
What should go into a student's grade? Number 1. Should grades reflect absolute achievement level or achievement relative to others in the same? In norm reference grading system, the letter grade a student receives is based on his or her standing in a class. A certain percentage of those at the top receives A's, a specified percent of the next highest grade B's, and so on. Number 3. Should grades report status, achievement, or amount of growth? So 8.5 is standardized test scoring. Test standardization is a process by which teacher or researcher made tests are validated and item analyzed. After the process of validation, the test characteristics are established. These characteristics include test validity, test reliability, test difficulty level, and other characteristics as previously discussed. Muna siya ang standardized. So the example student grades are 80 prelim, 90 midterm, 85 final. So 80 plus 90 plus 85 equals, then divided by 3. So equals 85. So 85 is the final grade for the semester. So in the cumulative grading system, the grade of the student in grading period equals its current grading period. Grade is assumed to have the cumulative effects of the previous grading period. So 80 prelim, 90 midterm grade, 80 tentative final grade, and final.
Quarterly grade equals for music, for arts, for PE, for health, for MAPE. 8.9 competition. What follows is description of how grades are computed based on DepEd Order 8 Section 2015. For kindergarten, there are no numerical grades in kindergarten. Description of the learner's progress in the various learning areas are represented using checklists and students' portfolios. These are presented at the age of end of each quarter for discussion. Additional guidelines on the kindergarten program will be issued. For grade 1 to 10, the average of the quarterly grades produces the final grade. Final first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, plus fourth quarter grade by learning area. The general average is computed by dividing the sum of all final grades by the number of learning areas. Each learning area has equal weight. The general average is computed by dividing the sum. So, ito diba ay ang general average kay general average is computed by dividing the sum of final grades by the number of learning areas. General sum equals sum of the final grade of all learning areas. Average total number of learning areas and the average equals whole numbers. Table shows an example of the final grade of the different learning areas and the general average of a grade 4 students. So mao ni siya ang example, mao ni siya ang cards. For grade 11 and 12, the 2 quarter determine the final grade in a semester. Table 1 shows an example in grade 11, second semester for the Accounting, Business, and Management or ABM strand. So, kani. Let's see. How is the learner's progress reported? The summary progress is shown quarterly to parents and guardians through a parent-teacher conferences in which the report card is discussed. The grading scale with its corresponding descriptors is in Table 12. Remarks are given at the end of the grade level. So, muna siya learner's progress reporting summary. Ani makita og nakapasar ba ang students or wala. Using the sample class record in the table 14, learner A received an initial grade of 84.86 in English for the first quarter, which when transmuted to a grade of 90. Transmuted grade of 88, which is equivalent a grade to very satisfying. First quarter, which when transmuted to a grade of 90 is equivalent to outstanding. Learner B received a transmuted grade of 88, which is equivalent a grade to very satisfying. Learner C received a grade of 71, which means that the learner did not meet expectation in first quarter of grade 4 English. So learner C received a grade of 71, which means that the learner did not meet expectation in quarterly grade. It was for music, for arts, for PE, for health, for MAPE. 8.9 competition. What follows is description of how grades are computed based on DepEd Order 8 Section 2015. For kindergarten, there are no numerical grades in kindergarten. Description of the learner's progress in the various learning areas are represented using checklists and students' portfolios. These are presented at the age of end of each quarter for discussion. Additional guidelines on the kindergarten program will be issued. For grade 1 to 10, the average of the quarterly grades produces the final grade. Final first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, plus fourth quarter grade by learning area. The general average is computed by dividing the sum of all final grades by the number of learning areas. Each learning area has equal weight. The general average is computed by dividing the sum. So, ito diba ang general average kay general average is computed by dividing the sum of final grades by the number of learning areas. General sum equals sum of the final grade of all learning areas. Average total number of learning areas and the average equals whole numbers. Table shows an example of the final grade of the different learning areas and the general average of a grade 4 students. So mao ni siya ang example, mao ni siya ang cards. For grade 11 and 12, the 2 quarter determine the final grade in a semester. Table 1 shows an example in grade 11, second semester for the Accounting, Business, and Management or ABM strand. So, kani. Let's see. How is the learner's progress reported? The summary progress is shown quarterly to parents and guardians through a parent-teacher conferences in which the report card is discussed. The grading scale with its corresponding descriptors is in Table 12. Remarks are given at the end of the grade level. So, muna siya learner's progress reporting summary. Ani makita og nakapasar ba ang students or wala. Using the sample class record in the table 14, learner A received an initial grade of 84.86 in English for the first quarter, which when transmuted to a grade of 90. Transmuted grade of 88, which is equivalent a grade to very satisfying. First quarter, which when transmuted to a grade of 90 is equivalent to outstanding. Learner B received a transmuted grade of 88, which is equivalent a grade to very satisfying. Learner C received a grade of 71, which means that the learner did not meet expectation in first quarter of grade 4 English. So learner C received a grade of 71, which means that the learner did not meet expectation in first quarter of grade 4. So si learner C is kuan siya kanang learner C kay failed siya. When learners' raw scores are consistently below expectations in written work and performance tasks, the learner's parents or guardians must be informed not later the 5th week of the quarter. So sa kani dapat ang parents sa students kay makahibaw or i-inform nga mauna ang kuan sa ilang students. This will enable them to help and guide their child to improve and prepare for the quarterly. A learner who receives a grade below 75 in any subject in a quarter must be given intervention through remediation and extra lessons from the teachers of the subject. So, ang students, if makareceive siya grades of below 75 sa bisag unsa nga subject or examples, pass siya sa others sa all subject but na usa nga below 75 iyang grades is need niya mag remedial or magkuha siya mga extra lessons para sa mga teacher para ma-pass to niya nga subject dili siya mabagsak. Next, 8.11, promotion and reflection at the end of the school year. These are what DepEd Order 8 Section 2015 say. A final grade of 75 promoted to the next grade level. Table 13 specifies the guidelines to be followed for learner promotion and relation. So, ang final grade 75 is pasar pa siya sa next level, next grade level.
Ate, ang buti natin pag-andar.
So, kani siya. Final grade of national learning. Areas. For grades 1 to 3 learners, learner promotion and retention requirements, final grade of at least 75 in all learning areas, and is promoted to the next grade level. So, pasar pa siya, makakuan pa siya sa next grade level. So, mauna to. That's all. Thank you.
First, we have the fast field system. No, other colleges and universities, faculties, schools, and institutions are used fast field grading system in the Philippines, especially when the students' work to be evaluated is highly subjected, as in the fine arts and music. There are no generally accepted standard graduations. Is as with independent studies, or the critical requirements is meeting a single satisfactory standard, as in some of professional examinations and practicum. So here, a fast field system, no, example the as in the fine arts and music. So arts and music in our PE more on like activities or just the grading system that need not to fail, but some students fail that kind of subject because they did not follow the rules or did not do and what the teacher or the activities that they need, or especially the exams. So also the professional examinations, example of this is the LET, no, or the practicum. But more on sometimes some people did not have good result and LET, and then some of us have a good result. No, example that one my friend, no, and also she is my cousin's friend. They both passed the LET exam. I'm so proud, no, as even though I'm just a friend, but being a friend, so proud of them. So next is we have the non-graded evaluation. So while not yet practiced in the Philippine schools as institution, non-grade evaluation do not assign numeric or letter grades as a matter of policy, this practice is usually based on a belief that grades introduce an inappropriate and destructive element or competition into the learning process, or that they are not as meaningful as measures or intellectual growth and develop as are carefully measures faculty evaluation. Many faculty, schools, and institutions that follow a no-grade policy will, if requested, produce grades or convert their students' evaluation into formulae acceptable authorities who require traditional measures of performance. So here in a non-graded evaluation, so just need the professional who will just like grade the students, or they have their own policy. No, every country have their school system how they grade the students. So some of the country use the non-grading evaluation, but the Philippines use the grading system. Next is the process of deciding on a grading system is a very complex one. The problems faced by teacher who tries to design a system which will be accurate and there are common to any manager as accepting to evaluate those for whom he or she is responsible. The problem of teacher and students with the faculty with regard to evaluation or promotion and tenure, the need for completeness and objectively felt by the teachers and administration must be balanced against the need for the fairness and clarity felt by students and the faculty in the respective situations. The fact that the faculty member finds himself or herself in both the position of evaluator and evaluated should help to make him or her more thoughtful about the needs or age position. So here also in the alternative grading system, not only just the student but also all the workers that they need promotion, especially the teacher. No, they have every year evaluation, or they need to be a teacher one, or they need to be a doctorate. You need to study. That's why their level or their position is getting higher, right? So in the exercise 13, we have the 9 exercises. So one, define a norm of reference grading. What are the some of the issues that confront a teacher using a norm reference grading system or discuss. So every subject have different grading system, no? Because not all subject, because some of the subjects you have 50% skills and 20% exam, and the rest of us just project and more on, no? So second, the following final grades are obtained in a class of grade 6 pupils. Now in the first row, the lowest is the 77, the second row is the 76. So using a non-difference grading with a 7-point scale, determine the scores that would get a filling mark. What is your general impression on this? So for me, even though the first one is the 77 is the lowest one, and the second one is 76, the next score, but it's okay because 75 is the passing score. But if you need to line of 8, all of this or a 9, you need to study that kind of subject. So be using a norm difference grading with 8 points grading scale, determine the scores that would get a filling mark. Compare this with the previous grading systems above. So the first scale, no, you have 77 low always, and the second the next is the 76. So even though you have a 76 or 75, just need to pursue your study, or you need to study more so that you can get the good scores or the grades rather. 3, determine criterion difference grading. What are some of the issues that confront a teacher using a criterion reference grading system? Discuss. So the teacher need to discuss first the student what are the grading system on that subject. 4. Using the data in the problem B, set a passing criterion 78% and self-equal interval for all the other grades above the passing, and the set equal all the passing criterion. How does your result compare with those of norms difference grading, and which grading system do you feel more comfortable? No, in the grading system that I need more comfortable is just like it also the skills, because not all that were on knowledgeable, but some of us have a nice skills. So fifth, in a class of 100 pupils, that our main score in the test was determined to the 82 with a standard deviation of 7. Construct an 8 points grading scale using the standard normal curve and a norms reference grading. So later on, we're gonna discuss about the normal curve. So here, the record will also if we getting the grades that you need to just point the line if it is getting up or getting higher, no? And then 6, discuss in your own words 4 essential question and the grading provided by Finke. Do you agree or disagree with her own opinion of view and justify? So I think I agree, because all of us have a lot of different grading system. Then 7, would you use the norm difference grading system in your own class? Why or why not? So I also use the grading system what our school or the DepEd or just the colleges use, so that it can easy for us, no? 7, would you use 8, when would a norm grading system to most appropriate to use? Similarly, when would a criterion reference grading system be appropriate to use? So for me, it's preferred to use criterion and the reference system, because those criteria or criterion that student or even just the parents, if they confront the teacher, they will also know what are the criterion of that kind of subject. Next, the last one, 9, compare the grades of the student and the written English with the following row score and the written work, no? 80 out of 100, performance 60 out of 10, scores in quarterly exam 50 out of 50. So here, just like the written works is the highest one. So like in the colleges, no, the exam is the most important. B, grade 11 student in the introduction to the philosophy of the human person, a core subject in senior high school with the following row score: written work 30 out of 50, performance style 42 out of 60, quarterly test 20 out of 40. So 40 is the over of the quarterly test exam of a teacher. C, grade 3 student in the mother tongue subject with the following row score: written work 20 out of 30, performance 35 of 40, quarterly test exam is 22 out of 30. So if the parents confront again a teacher why he or his son or daughter have the lowest grades in that kind of subject, so the teacher have to prove this is the written work of your written work, performance task, and the quarterly exam of your child, so that the parents will say, okay ma'am, I already see it, and he need to improve that subject that he have a low score or a low. So here is the what you see is the normal curve example, no? This is not new for us, because in our mathematics, probability and statistics in senior high school, we already encounter normal curve, right? So in statistics, a normal curve distribution of a Gaussian distribution is the type of continuous probability distribution of a real value random variable. The genera from its probability density function is the parameter is the mean or the expectation of the distribution, while the parameter is a standard deviation. So here have a different color, no? So P or X and the Y. X and Y is still there gapon. Alright? So here is the example of the areas of the normal curve, no? So in the 0.0 we have in 1. So we have 0.004 E. So this is not it's also familiar to us, right? So we already know how to use also a normal core. So next, this is one. This is not also new for us because in our first year, our teachers or the professor or the instructor already told us what are the transmutation of our grading system in a college or even just in a senior high school. But this is more on colleges. So here, 100 is just 100, and then the transmutation 80 98.40 to 99 is the 99%. Or in the college we have a different, this one is just like for the high school, no, or the elementary, because college is have different transmutation table also in the grades. Next is we have the appendix C, sample report cards for the grade 1 to 6. So here we already have no or see our grades, no, in elementary we don't know what the teacher said, no, in the WS, no, is the weight score, no, like performing scores of the student times the weights of the student. Just like you need to multiply, and then the result is the and then divided by 100, divided by and the times 100. So the result is that is the your grades, no, in the grading system in high school. Next is, no, this is the last one, and here is the report of the grade 8, group 8 about the grading system and the